Last time on Almost Heroes.
We set off from Tin Town, headed south towards the lower Highwood to find Oswin's family armor. On the edge of the forest, we ran into Grilder and Ara, some real fun Aarakocra girl, and this grouchy mage dude. They were headed north to join the Revivifus. We camped with them for a while, and then in the night, Cosmo saw a strange shadow figure, and Glyn thought he saw the face of Rangrim's daughter Regalia in the darkness. In the morning, we continued deeper into the high wood and started encountering lots of these glowing purple mushrooms emitting a strange haze. Cosmo summoned his spectral steed, his horse, and went to scout ahead as the mushrooms started popping, making this haze even worse. Cosmo was able to make it back to the group, but as he did, a spectral figure of a woman appeared in front of us, and that's where we left off.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dan. And with that brings us to episode 20, Night Terrors. We're going to pick up with this haze is just kind of like all these mushrooms that started popping, and this kind of haze had kind of started obscuring everything and had overtaken all of you as Glyn and Rangrim were sitting on the top part of the cage of the cart. Cosmo was sitting atop his spectral warhorse back at the cart.
Casual spectral
casual spectral warhorse that we had no idea he could cast.
We bought fucking donkeys.
And then kind of as Cosmo had arrived back at the cart and you all were kind of collecting yourselves, you all looked over and there was just the spectral form of a woman pretty much standing right next to Cosmo and the cart. So that is where we will pick up. And so this form of this woman, she kind of just cocks her head at you and then disappears. But when she disappears, she doesn't disappear entirely. She turns into like a ball of blue light that then just kind of zips off the path a little bit. And as it's going through, it's kind of it seems to be kind of displacing some of the haze. And then it just hovers maybe 30 feet off, just off the path in part of the denser part of the forest. So what do you all want to do?
If I recall correctly, Glyn and Rangrim were playing cards. So, Jin, I won. You owe me gold. We bet 5 gold on this hand, right?
Gin is a liquor.
No, we were playing Jin, right?
Is that what we're playing?
What were you playing?
Solitaire.
Oh, no. You only had half a deck, bud.
Well, that's why I suck at this game.
Hey, look, Cosmo's back.
Perfect timing.
While you was playing card games, there's this funny little figure here staring at us. And why don't you go on and say hello?
Do I see the orb anymore? Is it like flown off into the distance?
It's flown about 30 feet off the path, and it is just hovering now at this point.
Look over and just looked at Cosmos like, I don't see anybody, man. It's just a little floating ball out there. Is this one of your tricks? Rangrim, are you in on this one too?
That one's not me.
Cosmos stares at the orb, or what he thought he saw was a person, but do they only see an orb?
No, so it was a person. It appeared next to the cart and next to you as a person, and then it kind of like shrunk down into an orb, and then that orb kind of flew off the path about 30 feet and kind of like through the haze and is now hovering about 30 feet away.
Well, it was a thing, but now it's a smaller thing. It was a person. It looked like the lady. It didn't say anything to me, but I don't know. What do I do? Do I try and... Is it like trying to get us to go somewhere?
I mean, did you talk to it?
Well, no, it just looked at me funny.
I mean, Rangrim would fight it. Rangrim? If a lady looked at you weird, would you fight her?
Well,
It depends. What's weird? What's a weird look?
Yeah, Cosmo, can we see the face?
What exactly did it look like?
It was one of... Well, I can't... It was a lady. It was spectral and transient. It was, you could see through it. What's that word? What's that word? It was on the Dust Dogs last week.
No, it's
Oh,
transient.
transparent. Yeah.
Right.
I
That's the
think
word.
it was transportation.
Transportation?
No. It's transparent.
Transparent.
Remember your DOS Dogs wrapper. Rangram saves all of them. Check in
Right,
your
right.
bag. Do you have the DOS Dog wrappers? We need to
Well,
know this
yeah,
word.
Well, those
Well,
were
I
they're
was saving
supposed
them,
to.
but that's what I'm making these smokes out of.
They're supposed to be like flashcards. You just cycle through them, and that's Anyways, whatever. It was a lady, and she looked at me funny, and it went something like this. It was like that, and then
Huh.
and then
I
apparently,
mean-
well, now it's turned into a little ball and it's floating away.
Let's say hi. It's probably Oswin's mom. Anybody know her
Shoot,
name?
shoot.
Did she ever tell us her name?
You was the only one that saw Oswin. Remember?
I don't think you
I
know
mean-
her name.
You said you were so invested in his life. I figured,
No.
to
What?
yell out, Oswin's mom. Did she say anything?
Roll me a persuasion check.
What?
What?
Why am I doing this?
I don't know. You always do it.
Shut up,
Oh,
Glenn.
it
That's not bad. 16.
Okay.
I mean, not good. It's
I'll say that the orb kind of does like kind of starts moving in like a figure eight pattern. And actually, roll me three. Roll me a perception checks.
Perception.
that one's better.
That's not.
Not based on. It's gonna be based on sight, so you won't get the advantage, Glenn.
Dirty 20.
Okay. You're seeing that as it's moving around the figure eight, it does seem to be continuing to displace this this haze, this violet haze,
Hmm.
and it seems like it's kind of like forcing it to be farther away from it. And so, like as it moves around, it's clearing a bigger gap around itself of this haze.
Well, I think you're right, Cosmo. I think it wants us to follow it. It's
Well,
giving us a path.
Right. Well, I guess I'll move on. I'll ride up ahead, and you guys can bring the cart.
Would we be able to drive the cart through this?
Are
Does
the
it look like there's like
donkeys
open?
still
The
a
donkeys.
Oh, they're
yeah,
out. Damn it.
yeah. Champagne and Cologne are absolutely still napping from the effects of the mist, the haze.
Well, guess we can walk, or you can walk.
You can't maybe fit one more of us on that big old horse ears?
Well, likely. I can definitely fit one more at least.
Rangram gets on the horse.
I wanted to walk anyways.
Right. Well,
Hey,
you just.
you good in the trees and stuff, right?
Wait, is hold on, is Cosmo being Big Spoon or Little Spoon now, or is
Oh, 100%.
Cosmo is the
Rangram's
little
grabbing
spoon.
the reins. He's ghosting him.
right around the,
But-
the waist, like snugly, like a scared girlfriend on a motorbike.
totally just teaching him how to make pottery. I love it.
Wait,
Oh yeah.
I'm still.
I'm getting swazed right now. Oh God.
Sorry, Cosmo.
I'm still really not sure if I'm on the back or the front.
Hey, just whatever your heart tells you. Yeah. So you all are heading. You all are starting to walk over. What's the marching order?
Well, if it seems like she's clearing a path, I would, and she's about 30 feet away. I would kind of like follow. I would probably just kind of move in like 10 feet and see what it does.
Okay. Cosmo, roll me a survival check, or whoever's driving the horse, right? Whatever, driving the horse. Roll me a survival check with advantage, and then Glenn, I need you to roll me one without advantage, with just regular.
What? Okay. What am I doing at this time?
A survival check, because you're walking. So basically, you guys are walking off the path.
I'm not walking. I was going to take a page from Rangram's book and hop up into a tree and stay
Oh, okay.
above the cloud level and just go tree
Oh,
to tree.
cool.
I'll still do a
Acrobatics sounds-
survival check, but okay.
No, acrobatics is fine.
And I also have my thing over my face, my little scarf.
Yeah, you guys all have your face covered right now, I believe. Rangram's beard is like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I still have my beard just tied up over my face.
A DOS dog slips out and you start eating it.
I would just presume that we were up high enough to be out of it.
It the fog it kind of overtook the entire thing, but with them clearing the path, there's a lot less like you guys are riding through this like pathway that has been cleared by this orb or figure. So
I got
like
an 11 for
yeah,
what's
it's not
worth.
too bad. Okay, yeah, you are trying to jump up in the trees, and I think that your vision is being obscured kind of by, and so like as you're trying to jump from tree to tree, you are not moving very quickly, and you're having a hard time keeping track of them on the ground because of the haze.
I kind of like cough a little bit into my scarf. I'm like, Rangram, I'm gonna need you to just keep talking to me. I need to be able to follow your voice. I keep losing track of it. Rangram.
What? Where are you? And he shouts it, and I'm like still I'm still like cozied up right behind Cosmo, so it's like right in his ear.
Screaming in his ear. I take it tinnitus. I would be then just trying to follow as best I can. I imagine it'd be slower because I can't really see much, but I'd be trying to follow their voice.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say that you don't trip out of the tree or anything. You're able to do it. You're just moving at a much slower, more careful pace.
Does does the steed have like a spectral? Would it have?
I think it. Yeah, sure. Does it? Yeah, I think it can have like a slight luminescence to it. Not too crazy, but
yeah, no, not like nothing blinding.
Yeah, I need a survival check with advantage from you if you did that.
A nat 20.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. So you're able to basically that was just a check against you're going off trail now. So like whether or not you're able to navigate that properly. But yeah, no, I mean absolutely no problem. This spectral steed is able to glide over it without issue. Whether or not that is you're doing or the horse is doing, we can leave up to the gods there. But that's
Cosmo's newfound height.
Yeah, so once you start getting closer to this orb, it kind of zooms off and it does the same thing. It stays another 30 feet. And so would you just continue on that pathway then? And it kind of it's not following like directly along the path. It's kind of going in and out and kind of going on these kind of this winding path that's making itself, it seems like.
Is it so like it went out 30 feet? Does it kind of veer back toward the path?
It's staying off of the path, it seems, and it gets closer to the river sometimes and then gets closer to the path, but it's kind of moving between the two currently. And it's just kind of, it seems like it's blazing its own trail, but it seems to also know what it's doing. And you're able to follow this section of haze that is much, much thinner. And as you guys are moving, you are taken off guard for a second as another orb comes whipping out of the woods and then appears in the form of a man, a human man, and then goes and turns back into an orb and then kind of goes, and then the two are kind of like spiraling and creating an even like larger area of displaced haze as you're kind of going. And then can I get another perception check probably from Glenn first?
Did it look like they were like, touching like wet spots, or did it look like they were like circling each other?
Kind of circling each other, yeah.
All right. I just want to know how much I perceive. That's not good. 11? Yeah, 11 total.
Okay. You feel like you can start to see the form of some sort of larger object or structure out in the fog ahead of you, just kind of as it's darkening. And you can see kind of above the treetops, there's like this peak that's almost sticking out.
Oh, so it's the house itself is presumably taller than these trees?
You can just see that there's some sort of clearing coming up, and that the peak of a house is kind of, you can see it through the haze.
Okay, boys, I think we're getting pretty close. It's just a little bit further. Follow the dancing orbs.
Well, should we get back on the road? They seem to just be wandering about.
Can I see if the road clearing is anywhere near, or can I only see the clearing? That's the.
I think from where you're at and with that perception check, you wouldn't have been able to see the road and kind of whether or not it's going to the same location.
The serpentining that it did, would I remember which direction the road was? Like how?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you would know that the road is to your right, essentially, right now.
Okay. Yeah, we can start making our way right, but I don't know if the road necessarily connects to the house. I can't see the road from here.
Well, I guess we'll just keep moving along then. You doing all right back there?
Very much so.
Are you talking to me, Cosmo? I didn't hear anything after you asked that question. Is Rangram alive?
Right, he's there. It sounds like barely, but I feel him.
I just keep going.
So many jokes here. We're just gonna keep going.
Oh my god.
This is a family show, okay?
Yeah, so
Highbrow.
after a pretty short time of continuing to follow them, you start seeing that you see an opening and clearing coming up through the trees. The trees are thinning as if there's like something coming up ahead, and you actually break through the tree line, and it's still like pretty obscured because of this like purple haze that is all around, and it's kind of like a low light situation, but you are not in like the dense dark forest anymore. And as you kind of break through, these two orbs kind of both whip towards the front of the house, and then just kind of both appear as figures standing on the front porch, and then both turn back into orbs and just kind of zoom back past you, and you are alone. The house that you're seeing is it is, at one point in time, you can tell it was an extremely affluent manor. It looks like maybe it used to have a second story that has probably like half the roof has collapsed in on it, but the bottom floor seems to be relatively still together. It is completely overgrown. There are just vines creeping up the entire thing. The same purple mushrooms are like just kind of sticking out of every single plank of this building. And it is, at one point in time, was extremely a beautiful structure, but is now been very much taken back by nature. And ahead of you, you see what looks like two very sturdy front doors that are just up a little bit of a walkway.
Well, I think this might be where your armor is, Glenn.
I think you might be onto something. Since you guys got a big friendly god on your side, why don't you guys go ahead and take first crack at this one? I'll us non-believers will follow up, make sure everything's safe back here.
You know my god or whatever it is like keeps trying to like kill me and stuff, right? I don't really think he likes me. And Cosmo don't know. I think you're just scared of ghosts.
But it's definitely not my quest we're here for.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he said he's gonna pay us when we get back, right?
Yeah, it's on delivery. And I just start walking towards the house. I would like to investigate like the entryway towards the steps and the doorway. Do I see like any traps or any like runes? Like it might be like cursed or warded in any way.
I mean, this house is definitely ruined for sure.
Ruined?
Yeah,
without the eye.
Roll me an investigation check.
I don't even know if I'm good at that. Why do I ask these questions? It's good to know your character. 16.
Yeah. So you're walking up to this door and you're keeping an eye out for runes and whatnot, and you're kind of like looking at it and you're like, huh, that, like the way that the light is, you're like, that shadow's in a weird spot. And then as you're thinking that, the shadow drops down into like the dark shadowed part of the floor. And you don't see any.
Like I jump back basically to where the guys are. Boys, we might want to take our time before we just go in there. There's definitely something in there. I didn't get a good look at it though. Maybe we should case around the place, see if there's maybe another entrance or something less ominous.
Right, well, I think I'm about done with this steed. How do I make it go away?
It's a clap on, clap off horse.
Yep.
That's it. It dies. It just as soon as you do it, you will it out of existence.
It disappears.
Oh,
hey, that's
God.
pretty cool. And I clap and Poe appears, and then I clap and Poe disappears.
Oh God, no! I don't want to go back to the darkness.
Not the dark room.
No, yeah, you unmake your horse real quick, and then you all are just on foot. The clearing around this is pretty much like, aside from just being full of like what was probably lawn furniture and or different like smaller buildings, outbuildings, maybe a stable, things like that. And you can actually see now that the road it does in fact meet up here, but it seems to kind of come in from a pretty far right hand angle. It kind of curves in. But mostly it's all unobstructed all the way around this manor building. So you can walk around the building if you need to take looks at other ways in.
Well, guys, as much as I'd like to do a lap, I think it's probably best we just go in the front door. Like, if it's here, let's just go in and find it. Get the armor, we'll get out. We don't have to dilly-dally. And
Oh, well, by all means. And it just like take a bow and points him straight to the door.
Yeah, the door looks like it's a very sturdy looking wooden door that's braced by metal.
I walk up the steps, and I would like cast Divine Sense.
Okay.
To detect. It allows me to detect good and evil. And I sense anything affected by like a hollow spell, or can know the location of any celestial fiend or undead.
I'll give you this. You get the sense of at least 3 to 4 fiends inside, and one very, very strong feeling of an undead.
Well, fellas, there's definitely at least a good handful of undead / ghost type things in here. But I think we just try and go through the front door. And Cosmo steps up and gives the door a good kick.
Okay. Give me a strength check.
When he does that, Glenn just hides. Glenn, like, for sure, just like tries to duck up against the wall of the building, like just on the other side of the doorway. Just like, oh fuck.
A strength check that is
or acrobat or athletics would be fine.
Is a 16 to kick the door.
I got a 19 to hide.
Or kick the door open, whatever.
Yeah, so a 19
to hide.
His is a 19 to hide. Mine's a 16 to kick the door.
Okay, I'll say that you kick the door and your foot goes straight through the rotted wood, but the iron like structure of the door itself holds together, and so your foot is now just stuck straight through the door. Also, Glenn, one thing you would have noticed when you were doing your investigation earlier, kind of above the door, there is the name Bronzeguard, is like written in like a bronze above the doorway.
There's a Bronzeguard on Bronzeguard.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, that didn't quite go as planned.
And you said it's like an iron bar, like across the door.
It's basically a heavy wooden door that has reinforced by like iron bracings.
Okay.
I help Cosmo out of the door, like grab him behind around the waist. I'm like, come on, man, and just like start yanking on his leg to like get out.
But that didn't go as planned. Rengrim, you're up next.
Say, man, there's plenty of iron with your name on it, my friend.
What am I supposed to do?
I don't know.
Turn it into a doorknob.
Right, just make a doorknob.
I can't make doorknobs. I make things out of doorknobs.
There's probably a doorknob, guys. You guys haven't tried to open the door yet.
Is there a doorknob?
Oh.
There's definitely a doorknob.
Oh, and Random just tries to open the door.
It's locked.
Damn it.
Well, Glenn, we're back around to you, my friend.
The DM pump fake. That was brutal.
Are there any windows or anything on the front of this building?
Yes, there are definitely windows.
Well,
they're pretty nasty, covered with lots of vines, and just like you can't see through them unless you like clean them off.
I begin to pick the lock.
Okay. Sleight of hand.
16.
Yeah, I'll say you're able to do that, and you mess around with it a little bit, and you start messing with it at first, and you're like, oh, that's a way older lock, and then you start like you're actually trying too hard, and then you realize it's a much older lock, and you're able to just like get in there and kind of it's like a skeleton key style lock.
I was going for
Um,
6 tumblers, and there was only 1 the whole time.
Exactly. Yeah,
Perfect.
you're like this isn't a schleg. So yeah, you're able to do that, and the door just kind of like does the ominous haunted house like slight creak.
Yeah,
open.
slowly opens it,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
as I open, I go, "Osmond's mom, you in there?" Do I hear anything?
I want to cast Thaumaturgy to make the door shut directly in Glenn's face, and I'm gonna
Oh my
stand
God.
behind him and go, "Boo!"
Yeah, roll me a intimidation check with advantage.
Yeah,
You
100%.
already intimidated him before too, last episode.
What did he cast?
That was a 16. Thaumaturgy. I can open or close like an unlocked door with it.
I
Just a
charisma
cantrip.
saved was 7.
You can do a lot of shit with that, can't you?
Cantrip,
Thaumaturgy.
yeah. Thaumaturgy, you can do a lot of weird stuff, but one of the things specifically is opening or closing unlocked doors.
Awesome. Yeah. So, Glenn, how do you react to having the shit scared out of you?
I turn and punch him in the face. I'm like, ah! Just like, throw fist like back up.
Yeah. Roll a. I don't think you're proficient with unarmed.
No, and I got a 1. I punched the post next to him. Ah, son of.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'm gonna take damage for that just because it just seems right.
So I assume the door
so good.
slams. I assume the door slams shut and then kind of just creaks back open again.
If there's no locking mechanism, like I would have just slammed it and
Yep.
probably would have just creaked back open.
And it's looking mighty dark in this very friendly looking home.
Yeah. Actually, you all are in this very dark entryway, just kind of like a mudroom entry room thing. There is a shelf off to your right that just has like moldy old shoes and like disintegrating umbrellas and whatnot, and like the shelves themselves are kind of collapsed from time. This building, if you were going to date it, seems like it hasn't had anyone here in probably easily like 80 plus years.
Do we see any of the glowing orbs in there, or is it just all very dark?
You do not see any glowing orbs. There doesn't seem to be any lights whatsoever in this place.
Well, boys, it's dark in here. And I start to creep towards the little doorway in front of me, very stealthily.
Okay.
And I like kind of put my back up to the doorway and like kind of peek my head around the corner.
Okay.
Yes. So-
Yeah. Roll me an investigation.
Investigation or perception?
Investigation if you're looking for something in particular. Perception if you're just looking for general knowledge of the area.
Looking for general knowledge of the area. Same bonus. 19 total.
Okay. You're probably scared for a second as you look around the corner and you see that there's a suit of armor that is just sitting against the wall. It's like a dark steel kind of armor color, and it's also extremely old and covered in every single kind of cobweb that is imaginable. So that probably startles you for a second. But then basically what you see in this room is just like, this is just kind of like like a big open chamber that has like a big antique chandelier hanging from the ceiling. There's like a big moldy red rug on the ground. And then aside from that, there are a couple different doorways that are opening off of this, but the door itself is flanked on either side by one of these matching suits of armor. And they're both carrying spears. But yeah, that's kind of what you see.
Boys, we look to be alone, but I would be careful of the shadows. Things were moving in a weird way earlier.
But well, I can confirm that we are in fact not alone. But I reckon find this armor. Out.
I agree. Glenn, in case things get a little hairy, and I'm gonna put my hand on his scimitar on his back and cast magic weapon on it, which makes it a magic for the purposes of overcoming resistance, as well as a +1 for the next hour, as long as I maintain concentration on it.
Dope.
Tight.
So just
tight,
think
tight.
really fucking hard on it, like magic. I like the idea that Rangrim has a Popeye eye when he's doing it. Well, I guess you only have one eye, so you're always Popeye.
When we walk in the front door, like, what do we see in the entryway? Any pictures or?
That's a good question. I don't think you see any pictures in here. I think that there is maybe like artwork on the wall, but I don't think it's like family photos or anything like that in this entry chamber, at least.
Mm-hmm.
There's like old pictures of boats and stuff. Anything that any other a person on a horse of some sort or something.
Okay. Well, he just kind of like walks really casually up to. Is there only one doorway out of this?
Out of the entry chamber, yes. There's only one door.
All right. So he just kind of like casually steps up to the front door right here.
Yep.
Okay. And
I fucking love this lighting. It's so cool. This dynamic lighting.
and I kind of just get a perception on the room, like that I'm kind of.
Okay, yeah, Glenn did do the same kind of perception check and got pretty good, so unless you're looking for anything in particular, it's probably going to be the same perception check.
Okay, right.
Did you miss that?
I must have. I must have missed it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, I'll just do a quick one. You're looking. It's a big open room. It looks like there's multiple doors coming off of it. Anything that's on the map is an open door you can go through.
Mm-hmm.
But big, heavy-duty chandelier hanging in the middle of the room. It's completely dark in here, and there seems to be like it's flanked on either side of the door by these old suits of armor that are like this dark steel, each carrying a spear, covered in tons of cobwebs. And then there is a big, like, moldy rug on the ground, and that's kind of the entirety of the room. I think there's like a fireplace on one side as well.
All right. Well, fellas, it's pretty dark in here. Anybody? We might need a torch or a light, something.
Is the chandelier? Is it a like candle chandelier? Are there still candles in it?
Yeah, I'll say that there are definitely candles still in it. And there are torches not lit that are around the room that if you want to grab one off the wall.
So I pull a torch out of just my bag, because who doesn't have a torch in D&D 5e, and light it with my tinderbox. And I looked at Cosmo with my mage hand. I'm like, watch your head. And I just like float it over him, and I start to light the chandelier.
I'm a dwarf, remember?
Oh yeah, so it just goes like, watch your head, and it stays the same route. It gives him a little like playful bop, and then keeps going.
Awesome. So you're trying to light the chandelier?
Yes, with my mage hand from 10 feet
so
away.
So it goes. The room itself, like though the second floor looks like it is mostly collapsed or has partially collapsed, the top floor, it like this, you're probably still like it's 15 feet probably to the ceiling. These are pretty high ceilings, and so yeah, he goes up there and you light this chandelier, and with that being lit, I can't really adjust where your guys' vision is because it's based on the walls, but yeah, it is. The room illuminates and kind of like has a really nasty kind of burning hair and cobweb smell for a little bit. And the room is fully illuminated.
As the room would illuminate, Cosmo would kind of step into the room.
Okay.
Just into the doorway. That go.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
As you walk into the room, you see just a more well-illuminated version of what you saw before. There are at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other doors off of this room.
Wow. Well, fellas, this just seems like a big room with doorways. Anybody want to take a crack at where we should try and look?
Rangrim's taking things off of the suits of armor, like the dark steel, and just putting them in his like bag.
Okay, just like pieces of like the gauntlets and shit like that.
Yeah, anything that's like could be taken off that isn't like pauldron or anything. He's just taking all the smaller bits of metal off. Like, well, I don't know, you guys can go do your thing.
Okay. Give me since you are a smithy and understand how these things go together, but give me a sleight of hand with advantage.
Okay. I don't think I have a bonus to sleight of hand. So I'm going to double check. I do not, so that is a 13.
Okay, I'll say that you're fine. You start pulling one of the pieces off, and you realize that much like a Jenga, the wrong Jenga block, it kind of starts to go, and then you just kind of leave that piece there, and it doesn't collapse.
On second thought, I'm just going to follow you guys.
Kind of push through into the room and say, "All right, boys. Well, I say we just pick a door," and I walk due straight, just like from the doorway to the doorway directly in front of me.
Okay, yeah.
I will stealthily, I guess, and cautiously walk towards this doorway.
Okay, I will say, Glenn, as you are moving across the room, you catch a slight movement through the kind of like cracked door to your right.
cracked door to my right. Okay, so I'd say I get probably about here, and I notice it, and I just immediately turn and face it and say, Oswind's mom, is that you?
You see a gray face with a shock of white hair looking at you through the crack in the door, and then you see them move deeper into the room.
Okay, Rangram, I might have been wrong earlier in the forest. I don't think it was your daughter. I think it was whatever the hell that was. And I just I pull my double-bladed scimitar off my back and I point it as long as I can make this thing at the door, making distance. It went through that way, Rangram.
So it's gonna
check that out.
All right. Well, then I guess we just try that doorway.
After you, Cosmo.
All right. Well, moving on up. And so Cosmo would move across the room, and the door was closed or partially opened.
It's partially open, maybe open about 6 inches.
Well, I won't.
Kick your foot through the door.
But I won't be so aggressive this time. And he just kind of he pulls his weapons out, and he just kind of slowly pushes on the doorway. On the door is warp.
Okay.
Pushing it open.
Dope.
As that's happening, can I do a quick scan to check above the doorways? Are there any other indicators of, you said it was bronze guard before the front door? I'm guessing that's the manor, but are there any of the rooms in any way labeled? Is there any unique identifiers among the doors frames?
No, you don't see anything like that. You just see that there is that seemed to be kind of almost like a name for hey, this is where these people live.
Sure. Okay, cool.
Similar to that. Okay, so Cosmo, you're opening the door and looking into the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you don't see anything that is in the room currently. If you want to actually roll me a perception check.
Sure.
Or investigation, I guess. But
open the door and you've gone blind.
It's probably the same. Perception, investigate. Which one is it? Perception?
Yeah, perception's fine if you're just looking for general knowledge of the room.
17.
17. So yeah, you, as this door opens up, you get the distinct feeling of a sitting room. There's a big grand piano that's just through. You can see just the edge of it through the door. There's a couple chairs sitting in there. There's another suit of armor. This one seems a little bit larger and not as dirty. And then there is another hearth with couches and chairs in front of it, and then there's another rug on the ground with a small bookcase, and that's kind of all you can see from your location. And another door as well. It's kind of going off to the other side.
Hey there, Glenn. There's another chandelier in here. You want to bring your mage hand and let's get some light in this room?
Yeah, you got it. And I just follow up behind him to the doorway and do the same thing. Just light the chandelier within the room. Once I see that there's not a lot in there, I kind of just walk in as well. Kind of make my way through the entryway.
Yeah. So Cosmo, did you go in as well?
I hadn't walked in, no.
Okay.
But
I have to be within 10 feet to do it, so.
Then I will walk in.
Okay. Awesome. So Cosmo, as you, Glenn, you walk in and you start lighting the lantern. And then Cosmo, you kind of hear this kind of a sickly, wet breathing coming from your left.
To my left?
To your left as you go into the room. So the door was obscuring it because when the door opened up, it opened that way.
That's fine.
And so as you get past the door, you look to your left and then, or you don't look, but that's where you're hearing the noise.
Right. I just, Oswind's mom.
You look over and you see this armor of something that looks very familiar to you. Is this spiked dark black steel armor with these just rivets coming off of all over it, and there's this patterning of this dark fluid that is spattering the ground, and you kind of, as you follow its feet up and look at the face, you can see the ruined face of Sigrid Boulderfist is standing in here with her head half caved in, and her head and eye are just completely, and there's just blood running down her face and blood running out of her mouth. And then as you look at her face, she just goes, Why? And you are looking at this horrifying image.
It's Glenn, it's Sigrid, back from the dead.
Hey, Sigrid, Rangrim, Sigrid's in here.
No, well, she's not also him. And Rangrim just stops, like dead in front of her.
Well, to answer your question, Sigrid, if I could call you that, we're looking for Oswin's mom.
Have you seen her?
Sigrid is like not moving. You just hear this like ragged, wet breathing from her, and like she's just dragging one of the like the morning stars, just kind of like slowly kind of being dragged across the ground, and then like just looking at Cosmo. Glenn, what you catch movement out of the corner of your eye through the doorway on your right.
Sigrid, you got siblings? Remember you had some family around. They here? Or are you related to Oswin? Oswin's mom, is that you? And I like face the other doorway.
You see that same gray face with the like long white hair, and this time you see through the doorway that they are indeed wearing like a kind of black metal and leather armor that you have seen Regalia right in the past.
See,
they
Rangrim,
move
I was right.
out the door.
It is Regalia. She's here. I knew it. She's been following us, guys. Something's going on. Sigrid and Regalia. This can't be good. They're teaming up. It's the ultimate evil. We got to do something about this. Rangrim, get in here.
I'm right here.
You saw her, right? And I point to the door again.
Do I see her?
Yes. Then I would say that you might have caught you would have seen when he pointed it, but at that time, the figure would have moved deeper into the room out of view. So Rangrim might not have seen that.
Well, might not just take your word for it. I mean, there's a little spooky going on, and maybe we should do something inside instead of just talking to Cosmo's girlfriend what he killed. And now you're seeing my daughter. Maybe we should do something besides talk to all these creepy things.
Well, I was just trying to play it cool and hope that it was just me mind. But
No, I definitely see Sigrid. She's definitely there.
Yeah, she's definitely there.
And I like bring the torch from the mage hand down by her face, like to highlight that she's there. Like,
Yeah. She doesn't react to it, but this like you can just now see like her one eye that's not absolutely destroyed is like just this like completely white like iris. And as you get closer to her face, it looks like just mildly decomposed. Like it gets even grosser the closer you get.
you guys, just don't back up the mage hand. I was better in the dark. Ugh. Well, she doesn't seem as aggro as last time.
I'll say maybe death was a good thing for her. You look good, Sigrid. And I start to walk over towards the desk on the right.
Okay, you're trying to go
making my way this way.
Okay. Are you looking through the doorway yet?
Nope, I keep my eye on Sigrid the whole time because she is real and don't know where Reggie is.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you're able to. I think it looks like a desk, but I think it's actually like couches with a rug.
Oh, that's like a fireplace. Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. I like the fireplace then. Like, well, since we got so much time, might as well maybe take a load off, see what the afterlife is like. Sigrid, you got anything to share with us?
Glenn, so I
Yes.
need to roll something against you here because you.
Nothing.
Yeah, just for no reason.
Because you
Nothing for no reason.
You played yourself.
Because you moved.
So that's a 20 to hit.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
Okay. As you walk across the room, you feel this just like almost as if like not that Glenn is entirely strong all the time, but you feel just like this sickening in your stomach, almost as your stomach drops, as like you feel just weaker all of a sudden, and you take 9 points of necrotic damage, and your strength score is reduced by
Woof.
1. Not your modifier, but the actual the strength score. Not permanently, but just like keep track of how many you've dropped to this point.
Yeah, we'll do. So, guys, I'm getting a little tired. We should probably try to wrap this up best we can. And I guess, visibly exhausted, I say, "Are we gonna handle this, or are we just gonna stand here and
What?
stare at it this whole time?" I'm of Rangrim's mindset. We should get this shit settled.
Well, I mean, if we just walk into the other room, we'll just see if it follows us.
Not a bad idea. So I'd walk in. I'd turn and look down the other hallway.
Which one?
This one.
Okay. You walk to that door and kind of push it open the rest of the way, and directly standing in front of you is Regalia.
I attack immediately.
Okay. Yeah, so you go to attack. Roll an attack on her.
Okay. 20 to hit, I think. Hold on, sorry. Action. 21 to hit.
I assume you didn't tell anyone else this. So you just see Glenn walk over to the door, push it open, and then just pull his double-edged scimitar off and rush into the room, just not saying anything.
It would be out. I would just impale forward. I would just stab forward.
Glenn, you dive into the room, and your double-edged scimitar comes down, and you were probably expecting a much more of a fight. You drive this scimitar straight into her and straight into the bookcase behind her. And she is absolutely just impaled on this bookcase by your scimitar. And as it happens, she just kind of coughs, and just blood is just kind of splatters onto the handle of your scimitar, as this thing is just kind of holding her there like a big nail.
So as after I did it, just kind of look in her eyes, I'm like, I told you, I get you. Rangrim's gonna be really mad. And I start to slowly pull my double scimitar out, but I'm guessing they would have followed me if I started attacking.
As you pull the scimitar out, you just kind of see the light leave her eyes, and she collapses back and sits, slides down the bookcase and is just sitting there.
Is she the same form? She doesn't still looks like Regalia?
Yes.
Okay, I just stand there, kind of over her body while I'm guessing the group follows up.
Raingrim, go check on Glenn.
All right.
I'll watch Sigrid.
All right. Glenn, what's all the shouting and the stabbing noises?
You walk into the scene of Glenn standing over the extremely bloody form of Regalia, and holding his double-edged scimitar, which is also covered in blood.
I found your daughter.
I want to make a perception check based on smell.
Okay.
Does it smell like my daughter?
Roll. I will say you've encountered her recently, so I will say that roll me a one with perception, or with advantage.
I'll be doing an investigation check after this too, to see one, if she's dead, and two, if it's her.
5.
Oof.
What is it?
25.
25. There is no smell really. There's you smell the house. You clearly do not smell this, the familiar scent of what your daughter would I guess bring to the table smell wise. But so there's a lack of nothing. There's almost this, you do pick up this kind of faint hint, and you picked it up from the other room as well though. There's this kind of faint sulfur smell in the air a little bit.
I'd look at Glenn and be, sorry, bud, didn't get to kill my daughter today. Something else spooky's happening. All the time she almost killed you, you thought it was going to be that easy this time.
I don't know, man. I thought she was slipping. You cut your eye. It was super intense. I don't know. I figured I got lucky. And so I start to investigate to see if she's really dead and what she is. Because Glenn's not convinced that she's Regalia.
Okay, so you turn back around to investigate her, and as you kind of bend down, you see their face just kind of smile at you, and then grab your arm. And I need.
Oh, not dead.
That is going to be a 15 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay. You start feeling your strength weakening even more, but then it doesn't. It kind of it doesn't grab hold of you, and they kind of they just kind of melt and turn into like this black, like kind of black amoebic form, and then that form goes underneath the bookcase.
Well, you don't normally see that every day. Well, maybe you do. The surface is weird. Do you see that often?
I've been
Oh.
around a while. I've not seen that one before. That is a new
Alright.
trick.
What is going on over there? I got a cigarette out here standing at me funny, and you two is still jabbering in there.
Cosmo, are you still looking at cigarette?
Yes.
Okay.
Awkwardly staring at each other.
Um,
I'm really sorry about what I did to your face.
He's just trying. He would probably shift towards the doorway, but
yeah,
still,
move wherever you would have moved.
just
Okay.
kind of to shift towards them.
Okay, so you can keep an eye on what's going on in there and what's going on in the other room. But you see Sigrid start to kind of like move, and she just kind of like looks up, like raises her hand up that's not holding the one Morningstar that's dragging on the ground, and points her finger at you and just screams, and a black beam of energy shoots from her finger and shoots directly at you. I think I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Hell yeah. All about that. Cons. Nat 20.
Fuck.
Ooh.
You feel like, so this black beam of energy hits you, and kind of like it just kind of deflects off of the gold armor, and then as this thing screams, it just kind of like vanishes in front of you. It's almost like they just kind of like, they not vanish in the way where they just like fully vanish at one time. It's almost like they turned into like a slight line of light, and then just went whoop, and like it closed.
I got
and
you.
They are gone.
Got you.
So now you do not have a regalia, nor do you have a cigarette.
But guys, I knew something is going on, and this is that was not cigarette, and you just need to keep together and just push towards the and get the fuck out of here.
I couldn't have said it better. And I do like a quick scan of the room. Looks like we're in a library of some sorts.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there another? Is that a door over there? I have to scan.
There don't seem to be. There's one other door that kind of is to the left-hand side there. It looks like by that little couch.
Okay. Yeah. I'm guessing. Or do any of these books look like they've been like maintained at all? Or does it all look just destroyed?
This.
Sorry, go ahead and
it
handle
does.
your shit.
No, it's good. I just realized something about this room. So the books, they seem pretty ruined and kind of rotted. A lot of the stuff in here seems to be like pretty water damaged just because of its location close to the river. But I mean, if you want to do an investigation check to try to find something, you can definitely do that.
Sure. Yeah. Just looking to see if anything like looks readable, or my guess would be, since this is the Bronzeguard home, they would have some kind of tome of family lore. Fucking fuck. That's a nat 1.
Okay. While you do not find any books, I'll give you this little consolation prize for your nat 1. I'll say that you reach into this bookcase to try to pull a book out, and the book, as you grab it, crumbles, and then you realize, then the rest of the books around it, it seemed to have been like kind of keeping them all, the whole thing held up, and then the whole bookcase itself seems to kind of like and like the whole thing collapses and just fills the room with dust, as this central bookcase ahead of you just kind of falls apart and just turns into a bunch of wood chips and dust and book pages. But as the dust clears, you see this hearth in front of you and these chairs kind of around it, but above the hearth you see this tapestry, and the tapestry seems to be showcasing a really kind of complicated, but yet like you can see that there are 4 main lines of family trees of these 4 families. And actually, you speak Elven, so you would see that on the top of it. It says something about how the four families, and some of this is obscured because of holes in the tapestry and like just dirty parts and whatever else. But about four families, and just being like the original houses of Sakal. And you see through this dirt and dust, you see the name Goldbreak, Silverstream, Bronzeguard, and Blackworm.
I'm gonna like Blackworm. I can tell.
And
Good guy.
they're like the colors of the thread used, like it's extremely intricate, and the tapestry itself is probably easily a good 10 to 20 feet or 10 to 15 feet in like scale, and it goes all the way pretty much to the ceiling above this hearth. But the like Goldbreak is written in gold, silver, and so forth. And then Blackworm is the smallest tree, and it is on the far right side. One thing that does strike you as you all see this is that the name Goldbreak is familiar to you because the capital city in Sakal is called Goldbreak. But this is not particularly familiar to you, these families.
Okay, cool. Yeah, boys, I don't think there's much more in here, but and I look over to Rangrup's like, there's a nice little surface history lesson for you, and I start to walk towards the other door, I guess. There's a door over here, right?
Yep, that's a door.
Is it open?
No, it's not open.
I would like to attempt to open said door carefully.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll say that you go to grab the handle, and the handle kind of like turns in your hand, and even with like your weakened strength, like the doorknob breaks free of the door, and the doorknob mechanism falls out of the rotted door, and then the door just kind of pushes open easily.
I would then sneak around, and if I saw Cosmo here, I would try to tickle his ear with my mage hand.
A Gucci goo.
Just a little.
I assume it's invisible.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. Sleight of hand.
Tight. 17. Dirty 17.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Cosmo, what do you do?
So he tickles me.
Tickle your ear.
But where was this said?
It came from behind you. It's almost a direct line. I'm just 10 feet away. Like, it's not even subtle that I did it. I'm just like,
Right. So Cosmo would turn and like feel the tickle and just like make like a straight swing behind him.
Feel the tickle.
Easy, killer. We already cleared that other room. Let's go this way.
Well, Glenn, I'm gonna get you for that.
Start walking back into the room this way.
There were no other doors out of the library?
No,
Okay.
It didn't seem like there were. You can actually see like kind of the slight light through like this extremely grungy windows from the outside.
Oh, those are windows. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
So
I picked the last room, so Cosmo, your turn to pick.
well, if I remember correctly, you saw a ghost, and I went through the.
Like Scoob.
Yeah, you might be onto something.
However,
All right, Rangram, your turn.
what?
All right. And Rangram just goes directly to this room and opens the door and goes, is there anyone else in here that Cosmo killed or Glenn wants to kill?
Which door? Oh, you going to that door? Okay. Yeah, you don't hear anyone admitting to the fact that they've been killed by Cosmo or that Glenn wants to kill them.
Well, coast is clear, boys. And if there's a handle, I'm just going to turn it and try to open it. Is it locked or?
Yeah, so you turn the handle and push it, and the handle falls apart in your hand, and you're just holding a doorknob, and the door just kind of like is still closed, but it doesn't seem to be locked.
Well, and I'm going to obviously stash said doorknob.
course.
I kept the previous doorknob as well for what it's worth.
Nice. Nice. And then I'm going to I already got the doorknob. And then just going to turn and look back at everybody.
Go through. Go open the door. Go through the door.
All right. And then I'm just going to try to boot it. Like right on where the doorknob was or as high as my dwarf legs will go.
Oh, fucking for sure. Okay, so yeah, roll me a athletics check.
Natural 1.
Oh no, this
Okay.
is bad.
Okay, so you kick the door, and it shoots like it basically breaks off its hinges, hits the wall behind that you realize isn't very far away from you, and then just falls back and hits you in the face, and you're gonna take just a couple points of damage. 3 points of damage as this door hits you in the mouth.
2 points of damage.
3 points of damage.
Right in the
3 points of damage.
right in
And
the
then the door just kind of it hits you in the face and just kind of breaks around you as it hits you. Now you are just like standing there, and there's an open doorway.
I'm laying on my back. Erm just goes, somebody else can pick another door.
That got you right in the kisser over there, Ingrim. And Cosmo like steps up, dusts him off, and picks him up.
Oh, that's weird. If you see Sigrid again, you're gonna kiss her?
Well, just I mean,
I
used
thought about it as I like step over him and like walk into the walkway.
Yeah, you find yourself in this. It's just like a short. Seems like a short staircase that goes up like a very small amount, like maybe a couple, like 3 stairs into a, and then kind of goes into a smaller little landing, and then goes up a couple more stairs.
Okay, I'd be very cautiously like moving through this landing, kind of checking my corners, if you will. And I'm guessing there's another door here.
Yep, it just goes right into. It seems like there's a door there. This door is actually open, and you can just see like what looks like an extremely messy and not very big room past it. You can see a desk with some chairs, and there seems to be something is all over the place in here.
You guys following me?
Indeed, Rangram would have followed. Glenn, after being dusted off by Cosmo.
Glenn walks in and kind of like just starts to fan the room, keep an eye on everything, takes a close look of the whole surroundings. Boys, I think it's clear. And then I would do an investigation check to see, like, try to discern why everything's so shuffled and disorganized and scattered about.
Yeah, roll me a perception check or an investigation.
12.
Okay. As you are looking through the room, you see it's pretty obvious where this mess came from. There's a trunk or a chest just off to the left right here, and it is open and seems to have had a bunch of stuff thrown out of it. And as you're kind of looking at these pieces of parchment that are scattering around the ground, you get the kind of sense that like there was a bit of a financial problem at some point, and like there was something was going on, and there was like some pretty angry letters going back from people or to people that are kind of scattered around the room.
Any reoccurring names or themes, motifs of who owes who money?
You catch that a lot of them are. I mean, a lot of it is addressed to the this surname of Bronzeguard, and most of them are seemingly looking for money.
So Bronzeguard owns some Skrilla. Okay, and then looking at the desk, does it look like it was like the estate desk? Like, does this look where, like, I don't know, the office effectively? Does this seem to be where all business would have transpired?
Yes, it does.
So do I find like a ledger or anything like that? Again, like a family lore or anything like tied to kind of like the family history?
Roll me an investigation if you're looking for that in particular.
Do you want to use the same one as before?
Oh, did you? Okay, oh, gotcha. I thought that was a perception.
No, that would have been same bonus.
Okay,
I can if you'd like, but
yeah, I would roll me a second one since you're looking for something more in particular now.
Same exact roll, 12.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say that you don't find anything of that, but there's like a slight gold that catches your eye that is like kind of covered by some of the paperwork, but it kind of glints as you're looking around a room that most of the stuff doesn't glint, and it just kind of catches your eye. Something small.
Would go and kind of move the things off of it with my mage hand and start to pick it up, assuming it's under 10 pounds.
Okay, yeah. You find a what looks like a small gold ring that, when inspected a little bit closer, looks like it is designed as if it's an arrow that is kind of like wrapped around the finger, not like kind of slightly off center so that the ends aren't meeting. It's like a slight coil, but it's the size of a ring and it looks like an arrow.
Bring it kind of just back to myself. Bring it to the hand and look to Rangrim's like, you seem to like rings. You want to add another one to the collection? I like go to hand him this ring.
He's giving me this.
I gave you one ring. I figure you can have all the rings, right?
Why not? I'm gonna just take it and
Okay.
attempt to put it on my hand.
Okay, yeah, you put it on.
Well, we're all just kind of hanging out in this room. Screw it, because I'm casting Identify.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so that's like 10 minutes, right? Something like that.
It would be 10 minutes, but with my Ring of Rituals you gave me, it would only be 5.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. So you come to realize that this is what is known as a ring of volleys. And what a ring of volleys can do is that while wearing this ring, you can choose to summon a knocked arrow or bolt. Whenever you draw a bow or crossbow, the ammunition is magical, and the arrow or bolt vanishes if you don't fire it right away, and it disappears after it hits or misses. But it basically can summon a magical bolt or arrow.
So this is like unlimited ammo cheat.
Unlimited ammo cheat, and also it has the magical tag, so you could attack something that is, incorporeal.
Oh, I'm looking at it, and I tell Glenn exactly what it does. I'm like, thanks, and then I leave the room.
Well, I mean, it would look kind of cool. And I looked at Cosmo. I'm like, I don't think I'm getting that back.
Well, it might take a bit of a trade.
Does he even have a bow? I just start to follow Rangrim.
He had a crossbow, I think.
I threw the crossbows at the
I was
Gnolls.
gonna say he chucked it at the Gnolls. Just kind of defeated, I walk out of the room and start following Rangrim down the stairs.
Did we
catch,
look?
and I'm throwing it at him as he exits the room.
Did we look in the chest?
I did not, but I also investigated 3 times.
The chest was empty.
Okay.
It had been holding all of these scrolls.
Okay.
Parchment.
All right. As long as we looked in it. Well, this was uneventful, but no ghost, so guess we can move on back.
I mean, you guys are dwarves. If you were to keep your magical armor that was tied to your family history, where would you keep it? I'd wear it. I don't know why Osmond was just walking around all old like, but where would you put it?
You know I lived in the Underdark, right? We're not normally big in cheery and like family heirlooms. And I mean, the other dwarf is literally wearing it.
Right, I'm wearing me father's armor, but when I found it, it was under a floorboard.
It's a good floorboard.
Say we gotta start digging up some floorboards. Damn, I'll be here all night. I start walking, I guess, down to the main living room. It's like I think we just need to keep searching, boys.
Well,
where you going?
When I say it was under a floorboard, I mean, get away. It was like, my mom had it. I don't know. I'm sure it's not under a floorboard. Don't go dismantling this place.
As I'm about to stab into the ground to dismantle the floorboards, okay. Well, I mean, taking care of most of the doors. Try another one. I go to this door and I see if it's unlocked. Is the door unlocked, John?
That
Dr.
one.
Deanne. Yes, the one I'm standing in front of.
It is not unlocked.
Then I go to
Which
pick
would mean
it.
it is locked.
I go to pick it.
Yeah.
I had to I was like, not unlocked, so
It is not unlocked.
I get a sleight of hand. Oh wow, 24 to pick the lock.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely. This thing, like as you're picking it, the tumblers inside just kind of seem to break apart, and then the door just kind of like you're like, oh well, okay, and then you just turn the doorknob. The doorknob doesn't fall off this time, but the tumbler itself is destroyed.
I try to quickly break it off and try to hand it to Rangrim. But
Okay.
I'm really weak right now, so I doubt it works.
Yeah, I think that you're able to you basically leverage down on it a little bit, and it just breaks the entire mechanism out of the rotted door, and you just hand it over to Rangrim.
So I move into the room and I look around.
Okay. Yeah. So in this room, you're kind of realizing you're just kind of in the back part. Maybe this is like a more of like a quarters that would be used for storing like foods and things of that sort. Like maybe more of like a servant's area for like preparation of meals or just storing long-term food.
Okay. I would keep kind of moving through, trying to see if I can find any like closed compartments, like wherever you might store precious, like a safe looking thing or anything that's kind of like a secured door that there might be potentially a
Yeah.
suit of armor in.
Yeah.
Rangram
So
would also be following suit, doing a very similar thing, but his investigation is a lot less tactful, I guess you could say. I'm just kind of knocking stuff over, but I am like looking for things.
okay, the door in front of you, Glenn, is it seems to be a little bit more sturdy than the other ones. It is like it has that iron edging to it, so that the frame itself is made out of like an iron, and it is locked.
Why don't you let me have a go with this one?
Well, all right, and I take a couple steps back, go to like the other side of Rangram.
Cosmo just takes his war pick and knocks down on the doorknob.
Okay, yeah, roll me a athletics check.
Athletics. That is a 19.
Okay, yeah, you nail this doorknob, and it just like kind of bends, and you hear the bar on the other side of the door kind of like as it kind of bends down, it seems to pop the whatever locking bar had been on the other side of the door off, and you hear it kind of clatter to the ground with like a heavy metal noise, and then the door kind of just like creaks open and then kind of hits against the steel bar that's on the ground, and doesn't open the rest of the way, but it's just kind of partially open now.
I'll be damned, Cosmo. It's a hell of a way to open a door.
Well, most of these doorknobs have just been falling off anyways, so figured why not?
They have not been that hard.
And
Did the doorknob actually break free of the door?
Yeah, but-
I'll say yeah, it does. The same.
Sick.
You get a doorknob.
4 doorknobs so far.
A 1, a 2.
Cosmo just again uses his war pick to push the door open.
Okay. As you push into this room, the room is fully engulfed in these purple mushrooms. It seems that they've like kind of come out of its small room. That seems to have been some sort of like small secluded study of sorts, and also like almost like trophies. There's like animal heads on the walls that have like partially rotted away down to just skeletons, and there's like this kind of really creepy looking the hearth, this like large fire hearth that's on one side of the wall is completely illuminated in this like violet light as these like mushrooms have grown out of it and are completely kind of growing up the far wall of the room, and the mist is like very very dense in this room, and as you open it, it kind of floods into part of the house again, but it is also illuminating this very shiny armor that is standing in the center of the room. This armor is unlike any of the other armors you've seen in this house so far. It is like, even though it's covered in like a layer of dust and a layer of cobwebs, it is still like really, really, really shiny, and this seems to be more of like a silver than like a dark steel. On the pauldrons on the side are what look like dragon heads. And then on the shield in the front, there is the side profile of a dragon. And if, actually all of you can do a history check for me.
Okay. I also, as I kind of see the room, I am going to cast my divine sense again.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll also roll my history check.
Okay.
Got a big ol' 9.
11.
11, eh? Meh. A 12.
We are not well read.
Okay, so wait, so 12 was the highest?
Yeah.
Okay. Who got the 12? Okay. Cosmo. In your father's stories, you will have read about before the Sundering, there was one of the main gods of the old gods, was the platinum dragon god known as Bahamut. And this armor is the armor of a cleric of Bahamut.
I think this is the armor we're looking for, Glenn, right? I'm walking right in over him.
Well, I thought it was supposed to be leather armor.
I don't think he really described it all that well. He just said it was really nice armor. I think Ranger might be right.
So Cosmo, you cast your design sense, and you get the feeling of the same four fiends and one. Actually, I'm sorry, that is backwards. I got that wrong last time too. It is one big, strong fiend and four like kind of smaller undeads that you're getting the sense of. And as you're doing this, channeling this sense, you feel one of those undead, you're feeling all of them move, but one of them moves into the room, and then that's what you get the feeling of, and that's kind of where your design sense ends.
Raingrim, don't touch the armor just yet.
It's divine sense, not designs.
Divine sense.
Design sense. This is where your design sense ends.
It cracks me out.
That's like a magazine that I keep getting in the mail that doesn't have my name on it.
Yeah, it's current resident.
Yes, design sense, current resident, our valued neighbor.
But he just clearly just starts to kind of come in and just. But that I just certainly would not have put that trim there. This is just really bad. The way the room is set, it just doesn't feel right.
The wainscoting is totally off.
The shrooms really crowd the room. It just needs some design sense.
It needs some design sense.
So good.
Call Queer Eye.
All right. So as Cosmo's telling me not to touch the armor, I'm still just in the room, like still like about to touch it, but I'm like hesitant now, looking at Cosmo, like, why?
As you're doing that, the armor reaches up with the hand that you hear the shield drop to the ground, and the armor goes clink 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 and grabs your hand, and then just kind of pulls your hand down, and then the other hand comes down with this mace that it has in the other hand, and Rangrim, I'm going to do an attack on you.
Nice.
Freaking cigarette.
It's not real.
Oh, that's a nat 1. It goes to hit
so
you with
many
this,
nat ones.
It goes to hit you with this mace, and the gauntlet comes off of the end of its hand, and the gauntlet and the mace go shooting across the room as if they were like not connected properly. And so now it is handless, and it just kind of looks down at its own hand, and you can see that there's this like black shadowy material coming out of it that was filling that void.
I didn't touch it. It still wasn't me. I didn't touch it. It touched me.
And this awkward situation now where it's looking at its hand and it's still holding Rangrim and just kind of looks over at you guys, and then you see a black shadow drop out of it and shoot across the floor into the wall, and the armor collapses.
Well, boys, I say we all grab as much of this as we can and we run the hell out of here.
Agreed.
Rangram, throw us what you can.
Rangrim's like putting the helmet and like the gauntlets on awkwardly and like throwing the pauldrons and the chest plates over to them. Assuming they're way too big, and it's like very much like a 90s kid like putting trash cans on to like fight the ghosts in his house kind of look.
So you hear what sounds like, as you're doing this, as you're clanking, your passive perception, I think, would be strong enough to hear Rangrim that I think yours is the highest, but all of you would hear it. You hear the sounds of clanking of other suits of armor seemingly moving towards your location.
Well, let's get this quickly. I think we've pissed it off.
Yeah.
You see a suit of armor burst through the door that you're currently in the room of where you were picking up that stuff. Just kind of bursts into that room.
Are we currently holding all of the armor? Like, do we have it all in our possession, distributed among the three of us?
Were you able to pack it away?
I would just be holding it in my arms, I think.
Okay, then that's what's currently going on as this thing bursts through the other end of the room.
Cosmo would just be like, "I'll get it. You guys go," and he just like runs in to like hit this armor.
Okay. Yeah. Roll for an attack. We can do this kind of casually right now, but yeah, roll for an attack.
Sure. Let's see. To hit is it's a 19.
Yes, that absolutely hits.
Okay. And so that would just be like 10 damage.
10 damage. Okay. So you hit this thing and you hit it pretty much like right in where are you hitting it actually?
Right in the shoulder.
Okay. You knock the whole arm and shoulder off of this thing, and there's just this like black undulating shadow form that is inside of it.
He would definitely kind of swing back down and try to hit it again in the other arm.
Okay.
And that is a dirty 24.
Okay. Yes, that definitely hits.
Okay. And that would be another 8 damage, but on the other shoulder.
Yes. So with that, you hit it in the shoulder, and it seems to like it actually knocks the whole chest piece sideways, and the top part comes off the bottom part, and then you see the kind of black form kind of ooze out the bottom of it. Not like ooze, it's kind of like more shadow than anything else, and it kind of hits the ground and then shoots back out the doorway and around the corner.
Okay.
Guys, I'm not really convinced these things actually fight us.
I said we get the hell out of here, and
I say we
booking
keep
it towards the
boogieing.
room.
So, do the two of them have all the armor? Is that how that happened? Or I think so.
Well, I know
I think we're carrying all of it.
Yeah, I know I picked up the mace that it had, and I literally put the gauntlets and the helmet on. But I'm still running out with whatever else I could carry.
Okay.
I'd be carrying the chest plate, and if the legs are ornate, I would be carrying those, but I would just be like holding them. I wouldn't be wearing them. I don't know if that's part of the armor.
Was there a shield?
John, DM.
Yes, there was a shield too.
Okay. Then I would put my shield on my back and pick up the other one.
Okay.
That.
Yeah, and it's a pretty big one. It's like a not like a tower shield, but it's like a kite shield. It's pretty big.
Wait. Well,
we're all single file running through the house. Or you all follow me?
Right.
Yep, I'm running right back up behind Glenn.
Glenn, as you run into the room and you look back, you look forward, and this red rug has lifted into the air and is it just kind of like whips towards you and wraps around you.
Fuck.
And so you guys go and you guys are going into the room, and this fucking rug just wraps Glenn up into a big old cocoon, and you are currently being suffocated.
Don't I get a strength check to save against it?
Sure, I guess. Fine.
Don't I get to use the dice to pray to something?
Yes, you do. You get you get to be able to roll a strength check.
Saving throw, yeah. It's a natural 18.
Okay, so you're able to pull yourself, kind of like fight your way out of this thing by just kind of like slipping out of it, I assume. But this rug kind of like is curled back now, like a cobra in front of you, kind of like right here.
Okay, I would if we're taking actions, I would take a bonus action dodge, I guess, and just run right by it. I would just full sprint.
Okay, yeah, so you run straight through the room into here, and you come face to face with what looks like Regalia.
Perfect. I run right through her. I'm holding the armor in front of me, and I just truck sticker just straight through her. full sprint. I do not slow down in any way.
Okay, you're grabbing, you knock into her, and she is corporeal, and she's like basically being held up. I guess you're running through like this, and her arms are around you.
Sure.
You feel just this surge of pain as it feels like these horrible claws just kind of scrape your back. And I'm gonna take an attack on you.
That's hot. Oh, actually, fuck that. I cast shield as a reaction.
Okay.
What's up?
When I see her, I just throw up a shield. I'm like, no, and I just keep running through her.
Yeah, so she's scraping down on you, and it's her claws are not able to get purchased. But you now can see that like her hands have like they've elongated into these nasty fucking claws that are coming out of her hands.
As I push through, I just yell back to Rangram, like, "Your daughter's super clingy." I just try to keep going.
So as she realizes she's not getting any purchase on you, she just does that scream again, and then just like whoop, and just like kind of folds in on herself into like a middle.
I hate that so much.
And you now have no resistance, and you go barreling out of the front door and fall down the stairs outside of the house, and you are now currently outside.
Tight.
So Cosmo would have walked into the room and saw this rug making its attack on.
It's curled up like the fucking rug from Aladdin currently.
Okay. So Cosmo is gonna make a ranged attack and try and stick this thing with a light axe, like into the ground.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, for sure. Do
Just
it.
anchor it.
Okay. Oh, that feels good. It's a rug. How hard can it be to hit? It's a dirty 20.
That definitely hits the rug.
All right. So Cosmo throws his axe, like little light axe thing, down at it into the ground to try and pin this thing into the floor.
Okay, yeah, I'll say that you're able to stick it in one of the far corners so that it is not able to reach you and like move freely.
Run, Rangram, run! And Cosmo is leading the charge towards the front door with his kite shield out.
I'll say that you're able to get out. You're able to get out the front door as well.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I'll say that you're able to get
Sick.
past. Roll me a
Okay.
roll me a athletics, I guess, for running.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, I keep accidentally grabbing the fucking.
It's fine. Athletics would be an 18.
Okay. Yeah. So you're running out of the door, and Rangram, you see these like bolts, these magical bolts come flying from out of one of the door, like the corners of the room, and you see just for a split second what looks like this kind of like decrepit, gross form of this like kind of crouching creature that you have not yet seen, and it's only there for like a second as it casts a spell and then disappears again. And Rangram sees it. It's hitting you in the back with a spell, and that spell is Magic Missile, so I don't have to roll to hit you.
I have a shield on my back.
You do have a shield on your back, but these magical bolts hit you.
That's fine.
So that's 11 damage as these three magic bolts kind of hit you in the back and kind of propel you forward as you go, also shooting out the doorway and kind of like jump, like fall running down the stairs and find yourself outside. What are you
Just
doing,
like
Rangram?
Rangram would just be following behind, but like looking backwards. And then he is also going to, because as we all know, we all got him, pulling out one torch, lighting it with the Ring of Rituals, and just throwing it over his shoulder as he exits the house.
Cool.
So as you're leaving, you see like the form of what you would perceive to be your grandfather. And he's just kind of over in that corner, and he's just help me, Rangram.
I don't know. And I'm like about to throw the torch. Like,
help me, Rangram. And then their hand goes up like this, and a black beam shoots out of it at you. I need you to do a Constitution saving throw.
He's a dwarf.
I am a dwarf.
Grandpapa, why?
Why, Grandpa? But why?
Con save, you said?
Yes.
That is an 18.
Fuck. Okay, yeah. So you make the save. You feel yourself like weakening for like a second as this beam hits you, but then it doesn't really take. You're able to shrug it off, and then this creature just kind of like looks very frustrated, and you see the guys falter for a second, and that like crone, like just kind of crouched figure with the long clawed hands is looking at you, and then it just kind of like is glaring at you from inside this corner. And you see these shadows kind of start creeping up, and these the kind of blobs of black are kind of raising up in front of her in this room, and there's like 4 of them in front of her.
Rangrim is going to go with his previous action, except he's go, my grandfather couldn't do that, and he's going to yeet the torch like directly in its face, like full Aragorn throwing a torch at a Ringwraith, and then make his way right out of a bedroom. The room, rather, not the bedroom.
The bedroom?
So you're running out the front, out of the bedroom
Front
again.
door.
Trapped in the bedroom with the grandpa again.
Oh, weird.
Make a range attack throw.
That's cocked.
Strong choice of words.
15.
Okay. So yeah, you yeet this thing across the room, and it doesn't hit. They are able to move out of the way of it, but it hits that rug, and the rug just like absolutely bursts into flame. And the with how dry everything was in that building, like it pretty quickly catches. It starts getting traction, and are you guys just waiting and watching as this building burns?
Well, yeah. So like as I ran out and flew through the door, I kind of like picking myself up, and then Cosmo comes flying out through the door, and I'm like helping him get up. And then I'm guessing we see Rangrim just come flying through the door, and there's a big old flame behind him.
Yeah. So I think as he was running out, he kind of just hucked the torch backwards, and as he kind of jumped backwards out of this thing as this thing started lighting on fire.
He comes barreling out of that door like Shrek.
Yeah.
So this building very quickly is just like fully engulfed in flame, and you're starting to hear these just like agonized screams, and these shadowy forms, you see them kind of like whip out of the building as it starts catching fire in like 4 different directions. But the other figure itself, like you just hear screams and these like unhuman screams, and then you don't hear them anymore. And the roof of the structure seems to cave in on itself as it continues to catch fire. And after a pretty short while, luckily the forest is far enough away from this building that it's not going to catch the forest on fire. But after a pretty short while, this building has burned down to not much more than just cinders and a couple of the structural supports.
As it's just like going to flames,
Flynn
looks over and just like dusts himself off. He's like, guys, that escalated quickly. That was a lot.
That was it, right. Well, hopefully this guy pays well, because that was quite the to-do.
Yeah, I hope he pays us on delivery.
Yeah, I hope he pays well too. And like super obvious, like
You blink at me because you only have one eye.
yeah.
Is there something? Are you okay? Is there something in your eye?
Oh yeah, there's stuff all in my eyes. That's a good idea though. We should do that more often. When we run into trouble.
Just what, burn it down?
Light the whole building on fire.
Right.
Okay.
As long as we're responsible, Orson, that'd be fine.
Well,
I don't know how to do that.
sure.
Well, we didn't set the forest on fire, so that seems wise.
Do we need
Yeah, you made Smokey Bear happy today.
Do we need to set like a burn break, or what do we need to do? Like,
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I say we get this back on the cart. We get the hell out of this mushroom-infested demon forest.
Right. And I turn around and I look for the road.
You turn around, and standing in the right by the road, you see 2 spectral figures, and
Shit.
standing, and then a smaller spectral figure that is about maybe half their height, and they're just standing in the road.
Osmond's mom? I wave. While I'm holding all the armor in the other hand.
You see her hand come slowly up like this.
Hi, how are you?
How close are you guys? Are you guys going over to them, or are you just
Well,
talking
how
about
far-
I'm
it?
not moving.
Not
I'm
moving. No.
We have pivoted and we have seen them, and now I'm not moving.
We are
I'm
aware
yelling
of their
at them.
presence.
Yeah.
That is it.
I believe that at that point they would disappear from over there and show up a little bit closer so that I don't have to yell. Yeah, so they kind of like, and then turn into the balls, and then show up, pop up kind of right in front of you guys. Like, not right in front of you, maybe like a 10 to 15 feet away.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
The small figure of what looks like a small boy just says,
Thank you so much. She had trapped, I guess my father had made some sort of deal for our souls in exchange for wealth of some sort.
And he's kind of looking back at his father, and his father just like seems to be like absolutely like ashamed of what he's done, but he seems to be looking at his wife, and the small boy just continues. And
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it long enough for you to get that armor back to me, but I appreciate it all the same.
Oswin! See, guys, this is who I was talking to you about. This is Oswin. He's the old man.
Oswin?
It's an all.
You don't recognize him? He's around the town all the time. Me and Ozzy, we go back.
I never met him before, and you said old man is a little boy, and there's a dickhead of a dad here. I'm very confused.
Oswin, he just. What do we do with the armor now?
Just whatever you see fit. You've more than earned it. You've helped us and my family to be free. My family and my mother and father have been trapped here since they died, and I would have had the same fate. I would have been captive of that night hag as well if you hadn't destroyed her.
Is that what we were seeing? They was taking some very interesting forms.
Among other things, from my understanding, they have the ability to see your deepest nightmares and make them real.
I hate carpets.
Right. That's just because you don't have any design sense.
Yeah.
if
Full circle. Full circle.
Quit. I quit.
It doesn't matter to me. If you ever find any other Bronze Guard family, then you're more than happy to pass this armor on to them. But I trust that you'll find it a good home. Just my one request is, once you do make it back to Tin Town, just see that I'm taken care of and have a nice view.
Right. It's.
We look to hopefully find that 2,000 gold on your body and wish you well in the afterlife. And he just like kind of waves to him like bye Oswin.
Wait.
Bye Oswin.
2,000 gold?
Bye Oswin.
He just kind of winks at you and just looks up at his mother and father, and his mom kind of puts a hand on his shoulder, and they all three just kind of seem to become less corporeal, and similar actually to what you've seen happen with Chandrel when she disappears to the astral plane. Is like they just kind of disappear and are just gone.
That's a real disappointment about that gold.
What?
Well, boys, back to the cart, shall we? And I just
Wait a
start
minute.
walking towards the road.
Glenn.
Keep
You-
walking. Come on, guys, we gotta go.
Right.
Gotta get the hell out of this creepy forest.
Right.
So yeah, you are just heading back to the cart. Okay, so as you're walking back to the cart, you're noticing one thing in particular. The haze seems to be kind of like lessening and dissipating, and there seems to be more of a wind than there was. Like that was one thing that like there was none of before. It was any kind of breeze or wind going through these trees. It's almost like it's like was being sheltered or something. Something was keeping that at bay, and now the elements have returned to the forest. And the actual mushrooms themselves, though still like purple in color and seem to like do have a little bit of like a sparkle to them, they seem to be dimming. They're not like as bright as they were before. And as those kind of are dimming, the like the haze is dissipating, and you're able to by the time you get back to the cart, it seems like both Champagne and Cologne are both kind of like waking from their sleep.
There they are. And he goes up, and Rangrim's just like patting the donkeys. That's a good donkey. And he's going to hop back in the cart, and he's going to look. Rangrim's going to look over at Glenn and say, you want to just throw that over here with me? And seeing as we didn't get paid for anything, I could do something with that armor because none of us got paid.
Yeah, it's a real travesty, but
Well,
Guys,
somebody
I-
mentioned 2,000 gold, and it was Glenn.
yeah, remember that was the payment. Remember, it was upon delivery. All right, you
I
caught
don't-
me. I got to be honest. I got paid up front. The old man was going to kick the bucket. I got paid in full. I think it was more to free the family, so I'll happily split it with you guys. A
No.
little less for Rangrim because he gets the armor apparently.
Well,
I think I
no,
could be pretty sneaky with this bright, shiny, super heavy silver armor.
right. Well,
I start to put on the chest plate and it's just gigantic.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty big. Whoever was wearing it was probably of a much greater stature.
then Glenn?
Yeah, like build wise.
Oh,
Glenn's tall, but so it probably
He's-
looks like you hung it on a
He's
like a
felt.
armor rack.
Yeah, seriously.
yeesh.
And
Well,
I
I'll
I
take that stuff off your hands for now, and you and Cosmo can split that the 1,000 gold that he did pay you.
and I just blink at Rangrim like, it's all good. I can share. Cosmo, I was just trying to pull a quick one on you. I was gonna split the whole time, but you
Right.
always have such moral compass on these kind of things. I didn't want you to think less of me for doing it just because there was gold involved. You know, I want you to
Right.
think there was more behind my decisions than just financial reasons.
I understand that. I reckon it's similar, but we've done a lot in the name of gold these days. So, well, I mean, you did bet on me life.
I did. I thought I was going to do better on that one. We had your back. We were going to, I mean, maybe not pop her face like you did in there. That was a little much, but you know, we would have had your back.
I appreciate that.
And I load the armor up next to the seat next to Rangrim, and I like just kind of climb my way to the top. Say like, Cosmo, you want to pop a squat up here with me? Need someone to play cards with.
Right. Well, I'm not very good with cards, but I'll squat.
I like extended arm to pick him up, kind of like help him up towards the top.
I have to say, boys, since Oswin is gone, do we really have to go back to Tin Town?
Oh, that's a good point. Well, I figured we want to offload this and either sell this armor or something, but it sounds like Rangrim's got something in mind. Where to next?
Well,
Where was that other place?
the
The
depths.
the depths. That sounds spookier than that fuck
What is
all
it?
house we were just in.
Well, it was the Ebon Depths.
Way less spooky.
Right.
Well, it's
Because
that's the mining stuff. Well, it's underground. We're dwarfs.
Yeah,
That's
we're
one with
dwarves.
them slavers and stuff.
Right.
We could do that.
The Ebon Depths. We can actually, if you want to pop that map up, we can take a
Oh,
look
sure.
real quick.
Let's do north.
Yeah, so it would be north. It's almost, honestly, it's
Trying to remember
probably
what it was.
almost directly north of you guys because you're deep into the Highwood at this point. But you're along the river. So you'd have to cross the river, find a place to cross the river. If you want to go all the way back to the original main pass, you can, but that's going to be a little bit out of the way because you have to go west and then back east again. Or you can find a way to potentially cross the river while in the Highwood and go straight north, and then you would be able to hit the Ebon Ridge and try to find the Ebon Depths there.
Yeah, I think we head north towards the. Glenn says, yeah, I think we just, according to the map that we had, we bought back into town, we just head north, and we might have to cross a river, but between the three of us, I'm sure we can find a way to get Champagne and Cologne across nice and safe. What do you guys think?
Oh, that sounds all right to me. I got some things to be doing along the way, so you might have to drive the cart on occasion, but that's about it. Maybe we could stop off somewhere and get some ale. That would be nice.
All right.
Say, closer we get to nighttime too, I'd love to take a nap. I kind of got my ass kicked by I don't even know what in there. As we're like leaving, I'd be using my mage hand to just like pick a handful of those mushrooms from afar. Do they let the cloud spores out at all, or the plumes of spores?
So as the mage hand picks it up, if like it maybe squeezed it a little bit too hard when it first picked it up, and it kind of made it do that, but it as it's kind of carrying it after that first, I guess like rupturing of them, it doesn't seem to continue to produce the spores. It's only when they're like disturbed, essentially.
Okay. So I would like, I imagine since we're kind of meandering the donkey speed, he would just pick like 10 of them across however long before they're gone.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think that that is totally doable. Anyone else want to do anything?
Nothing.
Ranger would just be tinkering with his little makeshift forge that he's been goofing off with the magic bellows and things.
Awesome. Yeah. So as you all are heading north through the woods and kind of like finding your own path, you're kind of trying to figure out a way to get north at this point. And I think what I'll leave it with today is that this is what the audience sees. Somewhere in a place not far away, we see a figure standing atop the crest of a hill, their metal body gleaming in the setting sun, and their duster blowing in the wind, a huge, just massive double-handed sword on their back. And that's where we'll end it tonight.
A big
Wonder who
hill.
that guy might be.